All right, you're just in time for yet another intriguing and fascinating conversation right here on Good Morning Kenya's Entertainment Thursday. And now we shift matters and talk about mental health, given that the month of May is the Mental Health Awareness Month. And we're going to look at interventions that can be used to ensure that we reduce cases of mental breakdowns and things that come out of it. And in studio, I'm joined by Teresa Gathoni Muchiri, who is a mental health coach. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How are you doing this morning? I'm
good.
Now, this month is focusing on mental health. But from your perspective, why is it important for such a time as this that we have to focus on cases of mental health issues?
Yeah, it's important because mental health is the state of well-being for individuals, and this often will affect their work, will affect what they are doing, will affect their feelings, and if these issues are left unspoken or looked at, we realize that people are not able to realize their potential, they are not able to run their daily activities, and as a result of this, we're having people now getting deeper into mental disorders, which are now illnesses that now we cause them to stagnate in terms of mood, in terms of performance, and sometimes it even gets worse, even to suicidal thoughts, or even almost losing their lives, or even affecting the life of others that are around them.
Yes. From your experience as a mental health coach, what would you say are the major causes of these issues to do with the mental health?
There are a range of issues that could cause mental health issues. Some of them could be social, whereby people feel like their issues are not being addressed as they should be. Other issues could be now maybe economical issues, whereby people are struggling with a lot of issues around them, and at one point they don't know how to deal with this or deal with this, and you reach a point where you feel like your mind is just blowing up. You're not able to navigate through all these issues around you economically, or to maybe even sustain yourself. So what happens? You reach a point and you are like, you hit a block. And this now affects the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you do, which could now even lead into worse actions. Resulting from the crisis.
And at the family level, at what point should one seek help if in any case they're experiencing mental breakdowns? Because sometimes, you know, at the family level, that's the first source of support for someone. At what point should one seek this help?
I would say sometimes we navigate through issues thinking that life is normal, even at family level. So maybe sometimes you realize a person has started to change. Maybe they have mental mood swings, they are banging this all over, they are withdrawing. But at the point where you start realizing that this person is not the normal person that they used to be, I think it's necessary that now we start looking deep into what could be causing this change in behavior. Because the mental state of this person now helps them now to drives them now to react differently. If you're seeing such kind of a different reaction, and remember we say that you think, then you feel, then you do. So if you're seeing like people are changing in mood swing, that means they are thinking, there's something that they are thinking that that's affecting their mental capacity, and their feelings are also now coming into play. And if you don't act at this particular time and seek help, then you go to the next level of doing. And you know now the doing could be detrimental to yourself and to the people that are around you. So at this point when we notice these changes and these discrepancies in behavior, we should automatically now try digging deep into what could be the root cause of these changes that we are seeing.
But at the family level, do you think we have or we have made the environment conducive enough, especially when it comes to parent-child relationship, that as a mother, you can notice when your child is off. Have we created that really enabling environment for children to talk about things they are going through?
No, no, no. I think we wouldn't say that we are 100% behind in giving that enabling environment. But look at our modern family life. Like, for example, at what time did I leave the house? I left the house at 5:30. So was I able even to see that child in the first place? So there's something that they are going through from yesterday's school issues. Because even when I got home, I was also very busy preparing and, of course, unwinding from the issues of yesterday. So what if they were having an issue, or even they were having suicidal thoughts, or they were having such pressing issue like even bullying issues, they need something sorted like yesterday, who would give that enabling environment for them to do? So the states that we are in at the present age as parents doesn't allow us to really navigate through these issues with our children. So our children are just left like to grow up in the dark, search information maybe from the social media, through their friends, the teachers, and when you're having these children interventions, at times they'll tell you, can you tell our parents not to replace their love for us with gadgets, with goodies, and not to leave us to the teachers and to the house helps and other people to take care of us. We need them. So there's this cry out there that we need our parents, we need that warmth of our parents, so that if you're warm and you have a relationship running through from the past with your child, then they'll have that safe space. They'll feel safe with you, and they'll be able to voice out what is affecting them. But if this is not happening, you've not seen that child, maybe you just see them passing, or maybe the best time that you have with them is when you are reprimanding them, because they've brought a report card that doesn't look so good to you, or because they've started behaving in a way that you think is not very appropriate. But those expectations now are the ones that will make these children to wonder who was supposed in the first place to guide me through life, if not my parent. But
okay, do finish your point.
But it's the life issues, it's the contemporary society that we are in, because if you look backward and see when maybe some of us or the people ahead of us were growing up, there was that mentor framework, mentor framework and mentorship framework, whereby even the child belonged to the society.
Indeed. We'll talk about something about culture and all this, but we'll do that after we come from this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back, and we are talking about mental health. And Teresa, when it comes to matters to do with mental health and wellness, how has culture affected the idea of expressing, a person expressing themselves?
I think what I would say is just recently when people have started talking about mental health as an issue or an illness. Like, if you remember our culture way back, the mental health issues were like, the only thing that we used to know about mental health was a mad person, whereby people have gone through the issues and at one point they lost their mind. So we used to associate mental health with a dirty person, a person who has, who can even remove clothes at any one point. But the society was not really knowledgeable about a point in which maybe someone will be going through issues, and it doesn't mean that in the recent past, people have not been doing things that were actually evidence of mental health issues.
Yes.
But how many people will be able to point out and say this is a depression issue, this is a mental disorder issue? What maybe people would see is like they'll look at you and say, hi, what is wrong with you? And then they dismiss you, and maybe you just wait for something to happen. Boom! Maybe the people commit suicide. They are fighting with everyone. They are having, you know, those behaviors that we think they are not appropriate in the society. And even at that point, I feel people didn't really understand until recently, when there is a lot of awareness about mental health.
Yes.
So the society now has stigmatized people.
Yes.
In as I would be here as Teresa, and I'm going through a mental disorder, but I would fear. I don't know who to share with. I don't know whether, actually I can't even share it with my closest person because of fear of being judged, and the fear of looking like the weaker one, the fear of looking as somebody who cannot handle their issues.
Yes.
So what do people do? They tend to just close up, just withdraw maybe at one point as it gets deeper, and now of course the rest of the issues happen. Look at our gender issues, the gender connotation. For example, men, a man is not supposed to express emotions, a man is not supposed to cry, a man is not supposed to show, like, you know, they are not making it their weakness. So what happens? People normally say that they swallow it until by the end of the day it explodes on them. But people need to recognize that everybody can be a victim of mental disorder.
Have you any mental health interventions that can work in enhancing the mental well-being of people?
Yes, we run a series of mental health interventions, and like I told you when I was introducing mental health, when you have a mental health issue, it affects your work, it affects your business, if you're in business, it affects your relationships, it affects the way you feel, the way you think, and the way you do. So we've had interventions whereby now we equip people with mental capabilities now to help them navigate through these life issues. And by, if you're able to navigate through these life issues, you're able now to improve on your outcomes. You're able to now focus on your goals, build the right relationships that will propel you towards meeting your goals. And then, of course, when you understand yourself, you love yourself, you are in good standing with yourself, then how does it now reflect to how you also relate with other people? How do you behave towards other people? Because also people are an asset. Whatever you're doing, people are an asset. So if this person who has a mental disorder and you're always reacting, overreacting, having mood swings, getting involved maybe in drug issues and all those issues, then you'll not be able to finally reach your maximum capacity. So we run a lot of series. Like we have a specific brand that we call the Spark Camp, whereby we just bring people together, maybe 3 to 5 days, depending on the availability and also the resources that are available. And they will either come every day and go home for 3 days, or at least come for a whole 5 days. Whereby now they'll be taken through these psychological processes to just open their mind up, bring them to their awareness of who they are. Then they are also able to now look forward, leave the things that are bogging them down, and then look ahead, such that now they'll move into the future with a lot of hope, and they're able to now realize their goal. And by the end of these camps, we have a plan of action for everyone, whereby now they are like, I've realized what has been eating me up in my studies, in my business, in my family life, in whatever else that I do as a person. And now I'm leaving this camp set and focused into the future. And then after these camps, we also have now the the other stakeholders coming, so that if they are the parents that the children that we had in the camp this week, the parents will now come in, then you'll be able to share these issues, the issues that are coming up from the children, what they are saying, what is affecting their children, and then the parents will also be able to give us feedback that will also help us to build up an intervention for the parents. So now this is the cycle. And then after these camps also we have a mentorship program where these children will come back through peer mentorship and other designated mentors and trainers, whereby they will be going through these issues. The issues that we talked about, then you're finding out where do you need hand holding. Do you need another training? Do you need a psychologist now to sit with you? Because in these trainings also you isolate the cases that have gone beyond mitigation. You know, in a training you're trying to mitigate and to open people up. But now when it comes to those who are already deep in it, because you'll be able to identify through the process. You identify those who are having suicidal thoughts. They will, in the exercise, they'll just come up in the discussions. Then you identify those ones who are already in drugs, those who are in relationships that are affecting their mental health and their performance, and all those issues that people go through in life. Then those ones now we take them to another level of counseling. And now involving the stakeholders.
Of course, mental health is a very broad issue, and given that the month of May is a mental health awareness month, we shall continue having this conversation as we go along. But we thank you for making time to come at least address this issue of mental health awareness right here on Good Morning Kenya. Thank you so much. That is Teresa Gathoni Muchiri, who is a mental health coach, talking to us about matters to do with mental health. This is where we put a cap on this conversation. Don't go too far. Vivian Ndegwa is up next to continue with Entertainment Thursday. My name is Mike Megwe. Let's get entertained.